let's make a basic beginner balloon garland. So this is mostly for folks, maybe moms, who just want to know simply how to make a quick, simple, easy balloon display for your kid's party. Or maybe you're someone, you're throwing a bridal shower, or you're throwing a birthday party for a friend. You're not a balloon artist. You don't want to pay a balloon artist, and you just need a simple formula for making a balloon garland. So the key is the formula. There's a formula to creating a balloon garland. So I'm going to walk you step by step through how to make a simple garland. And then I've got other videos on how to make backdrops and things to attach it to. But for now, we're going to focus on the balloon garland itself. I'm going to be recreating a balloon garland I made for my son's party. It's going to be green and pink, like the movie Wicked, Elphaba and Glinda. And that's what I'm going to use as our example today. And I'm going to walk you through the formula and the different methods of attaching. So step number one, you need an electric balloon pump. It'll take far too long. These aren't that expensive on Amazon. If you've been kind of hobbying with balloons for a while, you might even already have one. Next, you're going to need 2 different sizes of balloons, and you're going to need them in the colors that you're using. Apologies, 3 different sizes of balloon. So the first size you're going to want is your 11-inch balloons. The next size is your 17-inch balloons. And lastly, your 5-inch balloons. Now, if you're using a professional balloon, these are going to last longer. They're not going to have that dark spot when you inflate them that you see in maybe Hobby Lobby or Walmart balloons. And they are going to, just in general, last longer. They're going to be less opaque. And if you're doing outdoor in the heat or weather, I really recommend the brand Tough Tex. That's my go-to. I'm in Texas and all my son's parties are outside. And so Tough Tex has been a lifesaver. And so if you're using a professional balloon, you're going to see that they come in packs based on the size. So there's not a way to get a mix of all the sizes. But if you can't afford to, or you're not interested in paying that much for, usually we're talking like $10 to $15 per bag of these, and then only like less than $5 for a 5-inch bag. And then, of course, you're getting those 3 sizes in every color that you want for your garland. So if that's not what you're looking for, then on Amazon, there's a brand called Party Woo. It comes in lots of different colors. And as long as you double stuff them, which I can make a video on as well, then they should be fine, but they're not going to stand as well outdoors. But Party Woo will come in a pack and it will have every size that you need. You just have to sort those sizes before you get started. So it's cheaper. It's about $10 or so for a bag with usually about 100 to 150 balloons with a variety of sizes. So if you're using a bunch of colors, Party Woo is a good place to go. Just remember, if you don't want them to be super opaque, you're going to want to double stuff them, and they're not going to stand as well in the weather. They're not going to last as long. With these balloons, busy mom, you can create your garland days ahead. With Party Woo, you may not have as much luck creating them so early. But once you have your balloons prepped, I'm going to use 2 colors. I'm going to have all of my sizes in green and all of my sizes also in pink. So we're going to start there. And now we're going to look at how to make a cluster. So with a garland, when you see those really lovely garlands online, what you're seeing is someone that follows a balloon formula. And what they're using is multiple clusters of balloons, tying those together that make a garland. So we're going to move on over now, and I'm going to show you how to make the cluster. So first, you're going to want to plug in your balloon inflator. And each cluster is going to consist of 1 17-inch balloon, 7 11-inch balloons, And typically, each cluster will also contain 6 to 8 5-inch balloons. Time to inflate. Now, if you have one of these, you're going to see this fully blue nozzle is the one that runs the machine. This one, if you press on it, it does nothing. So to be super efficient and not waste a bunch of time switching balloon sides, use your 17-inch balloon on the nozzle that runs the machine. That way you don't have to switch when your 11 inches done. You can just pop the 11-inch off. This is how to make it faster and not go so slow. It also comes with time. So first you're going to inflate them, and what you immediately see is these are not rounded. And to make your balloon garland look as professional and lovely as possible, you're going to want to round them out. How you do that is you press it into your stomach while releasing air. This is going to make a smaller balloon. That's okay. That's what we want. We're going to do the same. So we want to see this is the before. And you're pressing it into your stomach while letting out air. That's what helps round it out. You're going to do that until you feel better about it. And now we have 2 perfectly round balloons. So we're going to tie these together. You're going to take the necks and you're going to tie it around 3 times. This is what's going to help it last and no air leak out. And then you just take your necks and you tie it again. And this is what your first set looks like. I'm going to set that to the side. And I'm going to get 2 11-inch balloons next. We're going to do the same thing. These are oblong. We want them round. Okay. Now we have 2 round balloons. 1, 2, 3, and tie. And so here's what we have now. A set of small and a set with 1 large. And you're going to take these together right here, and then you twist. And now it looks like a piece of popcorn. We're going to keep going with 2 more 11-inch balloons. Doing the same thing here. Okay. Now you're going to take this one and any one of these small balloons. You're going to take and put these in any one of the small balloons. So I'll take this one. I start like this. And then these are the 2 balloons we just had. You always want to twist them. So now they're twisted in to this cluster. So here's what we have now. We've got 1 more step. The last 2 11-inch balloons. All right, now you've got your last 2. Now, you do not want to twist it into one of these. You can see that opposite your big balloon is 1 standalone small balloon. That's what we're going to twist this into. So you're going to wrap it around that. Once again, these are the 2 balloons we had. We want to twist them together. And now we have a full cluster. So every balloon garland is made up of clusters of balloons. So we're going to make 6 total clusters. If I'm doing 2 colors, I do 3 of each. This is for, again, just a simple kind of 1-line garland. You can make more if you want to make it fuller. We're going to keep it simple, and we're just going to do 6. So if you're doing 1 color, you do 6. If you're doing 2 colors, do 3 of each. Also notice that professional balloons don't pop as easily. So if you're someone that's like skittish about balloon popping, you will have some with professional balloons, but if it's not going to be nearly as much as you have with non-professional balloons like Party Woo. So now we're going to move on to our pink. Now, it is important to note that these metallic, shinier balloons, so you can see these ones, this is more metallic, this one is not. I don't know if you can tell. The more metallic balloons are like tougher, and they are like stickier. So they're a little bit harder to twist. That's okay. You can do it. So now we have our 6 clusters. We're ready to assemble. Okay, now there are 3 primary ways we can attach our clusters to each other. I'm going to briefly run through 2 of them, and then I'm going to finish the entire garland with my preferred method. So the first method is going to be super useful if you're putting your garland next to, let's say, a foam backdrop. A foam backdrop is not going to have enough weight to hold the balloon garland up as well. Obviously, you're going to make a stand on your foam backdrop and weight it down. But if you're using a 1/2 inch thick foam board for your foam backdrop, it's not going to hold as much weight. So if I'm using a foam backdrop, or if I just need to easily be able to grab my whole garland and put it down somewhere and not have to wrangle with it much, I like to use a lamp stand from Walmart. So these lamp stands at Walmart are, I think they're like $15 or something. It's just their generic Members Mark lamp. And what you do is you just cut all the cords and lamp parts off, and you're left with the stand. So I'm going to show you how you would do this. So you take your cluster, and you want your larger balloon facing one side or the other. And then you're going to nestle your balloons into this. You're going to find 2 that are on opposite sides of that. twist them together, and now it's secured to your lampstand. Now then what you would do is the next step is you're going to take your next cluster. You're going to do the exact same thing, but you want to alternate which side your big balloons are. So you would do the exact same. The next method, you would use a 260 balloon. So a 260 balloon are the long, thin balloons that folks make balloon animals with. What you do is you tie it into a ring like this. And this is a really common way to attach your balloons. You take your cluster, again, you still want your big balloon out to one side. Wrap your 260 around two balloons. Take your balloon opposite, and you're going to wrap it around two balloons again. Now this is a really popular way to attach, and it's actually how I did it for a very long time. The only thing that I don't like about this is, as you can see here, let's see. In a live event, you can often see the 260. Now you can play with it and get it to cover up a little bit better, but it's almost impossible to completely cover it up, and you wind up using clusters of 5-inch balloons to fully cover all the areas where your 260 is exposed. So with that said, I'm now going to show you and finish this with my preferred method. So the next method I'm going to show you is my preferred method because it covers up those 260s. You don't have 260s for this. It's called the neck-to-neck method. So you start by taking one of your clusters, and you're looking inside here, and you're looking for the neck, the tail of one of these. I always try to find the most pliable one. Then you're going to take your other cluster and you're going to do the same thing. Okay, so I have the two necks, one in each, and I'm going to tie these tails together. And again, I'm going to tie them where the large balloons are facing opposite directions. This gets easier the more you do it, but I'm going to just quickly show you. You can see a pink tail is tied to a green tail. And this is how tight this garland is. You can maneuver it a bit. I like my 17 inches sticking out more like this. Now we're going to continue to build the garland with that method all the way up. So you can use this garland like this, hang it up on a wall, or it can stand up and curve around a foam backdrop. I'm going to show you how to do both of those right next. Now, if it's already on a stand, if it's twisted directly to a stand like I showed you first, it's as simple as putting your stand right next to your foam backdrop. Done. If it's not attached to a stand already, you take your 260 balloon tie it. Use a small clamp, and you're going to add your clamp with your 260 to your backdrop. Again, another reason I don't use this method on foam boards. It's going to leave a dent. Now I'm going to go farther back, and you're going to see that I wrap this around a balloon, and that's what attaches it to the foam board. Now it's attached to the foam board, and you would work your way. I actually normally work my way up with clamps, but because my camera's not showing the bottom, I decided to work my way down. But you'd probably need at least 2 more clamps with 260s to attach the middle and the bottom securely to your foam board. And that's attached. Now I'll show you how you would attach it to a wall if you just wanted it on the wall. Now, if you're going to attach it to a wall, you're going to need painter's tape and a hook. We're going to do my door because you can see I don't have much wall space. First, you're going to protect the wall using the painter's tape. This is how big my hook is. So I need about 3 pieces of tape. Perfect. Now I'm going to take the adhesive off of my hook, and I'm going to put my hook onto this. That's going to protect the wall. Now I want to secure my hook. By surrounding it with painter's tape. I used this on a hot summer 4th of July setup at my own house. This painter's tape was on my outdoor painted paneling, and I left it up in the sun for over a month. And when I took it down, it was still fine. No paint came off. So this is a pretty secure method. You're going to have your hook back to our best friend, 260. Get that thing tied on there. And you're going to need 2 or 3 of these, depending on the size of your garland. And you're going to tie your 260 around one of these balloons, the back of them. Okay. And this is with just one hook. Obviously, you would want it to be straight. You'd use more than one, but I'm going to show you what it looks like at the back end. So there's our tape, and there's our 260 attached to the hook and the balloon. And that's how you would attach your garland to a wall. So now that we have this lovely garland, it's time to add in all the extras that make a balloon garland super fun for an event. Okay, I'm going to show you the extras that you can put on your balloon garland to add that extra bit of flair to it. And I'm going to start with just our simple 5-inch clusters. So for a simple 5-inch cluster, you're going to take 4 5-inch balloons. Blow them up and round them out the way you do any other balloon. One. Okay. Now you have a little 5-inch cluster. I will show you how to attach this, but you're just going to use your 260 around this, and then again around one of your clusters. So this is a basic cluster. Next, we're going to take a bunch of these basic clusters, and I'm going to show you how to make what I once heard referred to as balloon caviar, and I've called it that ever since. We're going to need a handful of these. I'm going to make a small version, but you can make these as long and as many of them as you want. So now you take a 260 or a 160, up to your preference here. I'm going to make a very small version of this. Do you want it to look like this? Tie it to itself. So that it looks like this. And now you want these, you want to hold this tight, and you want these like this at all times. You're going to take your next cluster and put this balloon in between these. You wrap it around two balloons that are opposite each other. My mic died again. And then you will rinse and repeat, wrapping around two opposite balloons. Quick note that you can also use fishing line instead of a 260 or 160. Now that this is ready, I have no idea what I'm saying in this video. Now that this is ready, we're going to use the tail to attach, but we're going to move on before we attach it. Here is the garland. I'm going to show you how to attach the clusters that we just made, the caviar we just made, as well as a foil balloon. So we'll start with the cluster. And you're going to take that 260 circle and pull it up over a balloon. You can use as many of these as your heart desires. Typically, you use 1 to 2 per balloon cluster. Now with these, I have one tail. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to attach it on one side. But what you would do to fully attach it is go ahead and tie another 260 on the other side to create a second tail, and twist both tails around balloons on either side. Again, we're just going to use one side for the purposes of this video. And I'm going to show you, you're just going to take that 260, stretch it, and twist it around balloons, and then it's going to still stay swimmingly. It doesn't have to be made into a ring. Alternatively, though, you could tie that tail into a circle or a ring to pop over a balloon, but for this case, I'm just going to pull it and wrap it around the balloon to make it stable, and I'll show you that here. Obviously, in a live setup, you're going to attach both sides of that balloon to the actual garland. Next, we're going to make a foil balloon. I'm going to show you how I attach foil balloons to my garlands. So quick note, this is a star, so it has this tail. All foil balloons have a tail where you blow it up. And for something that's not a star, you would actually tuck that tail to the back and tape it down so that that tail isn't kind of showing on your foil balloon. But what I use is duct tape and another 260 rings. I'm telling you, those 260 rings are going to be your best friend. And I duct tape the 260 ring to the back of the foil balloon. You're going to want to make sure it's pretty stable. You're going to want to secure it really well to the balloon, and then I always pull up on that 260 a little and re-secure the tape when it's in that position. As a note, this is also how I secure like cardboard cutouts of characters and things, or really anything like that to the balloon garlands. You just tape a 260 ring to the back and then slide that 260 ring over one of your balloons. You're going to fill your garland with as many of these fillers as you want. And here is the beautiful final product.